Hey everybody, welcome to the Nerd Cave. So today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch. This one here is my girlfriend's. She bought it about a week ago, but she doesn't really like this pink and green that it's got on there, so she ordered some new skins for it. You can find them on eBay, Amazon, anywhere. All you got to do is type in Nintendo Switch shell and like 100 things are going to pop up. So I'm not going to leave any links or anything because they're really easy to find, but I'm going to swap them out today. I've never done it before. I'm just going to kind of wing it and see how it works, I guess. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start with the console itself. And using the provided screwdriver, we got 4 of those tri-wing or Y screws that Nintendo loves to use. And then you actually need to take off the center screw on each side where the Joy-Cons slide in. And so to begin, we're going to first take off this little kickstand, and that just kind of pulls out just like that. And if you have an SD card in there, go ahead and take that out now. And now we can start taking these screws out. So once you have all those screws out, keep in mind these middle screws here, I forgot to mention it earlier, are actually just a standard Phillips. So if you have a multi-bit screwdriver like this one that the kit came with, you're going to have to swap over to the other one. Alright, now let's see how this thing comes off. Should just pop off now. Don't see any other screws holding it on there. I found 2 more screws. Here and here. And looks like there's one at the top also. One more screw by the SD card. There we go. This is a lot easier. I think we've got it now. There we go. It just kind of pops off. Okay, so just taking a look at these, looks like one thing we're going to have to convert over to the new plate is this cover here for the game card. So that looks like just one screw and then has that little slider on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, got our new game card slot on there. We need to put the new filters on there for the inlet for cooling. So we don't want this thing to get all gunked up with dust. Alright. There we go. Okay, so looking at this original backplate, looks like we actually have to transfer over this little piece here where the kickstand clips into. So that's just 2 Phillips head screws. We'll go ahead and take that off real quick. Okay, now we can start putting this on the console. There you go. Not too bad. Now we'll move on to one of the Joy-Cons. Okay, starting with the first Joy-Con. Looks like we just got 4 screws right here, and they are those Nintendo tri-wing screws. See if I can take this apart without it just exploding. Okay, so opening it up. Like we got a couple of screws, got some screws here holding on that little slider, and actually it looks like we can just take this one screw off right here, a little Phillips, and I think we can just pop this whole part off right here. There's a lot of small pieces in here, so when you're doing this for yourself, make sure you are being careful. And hopefully this little guy just pops. Yeah, there we go. And there's our little detach button right here. Take that out. So let's take out this battery. And then looks like we got two little screws here behind the joystick. And then one down here. And all of the inside screws are Phillips. And then we got the joystick, not the joystick, the trigger. There we go, just kind of popped out. And there are two springs, and then there's the little button right there. That's it, that's all it is. And we got a little screw holding that on. So I'm gonna take off that little button screw right there first. Short little guy. I gotta take out these little springs. I'm kind of hoping, yeah, there we go. My screwdriver fits inside of that. So we got two of these little guys that hold in the, or that give the tension for the trigger. Alright, so that's that little bit. And looks like that centerpiece comes out now, just like that. And here's all the guts of our Joy-Con. Now we've got this is the R top little trigger thing. And looks like we've got two screws for the joystick. Two more screws for the circuit board. So we'll get these out of here. Let's try to get this part out. There's a little ribbon cable in there. Okay, not to worry. We know how to deal with ribbon cables. Probably just lift up on that little guy, and then our ribbon cable will probably slide. I wanted to do all of this in one piece, but there's still this piece, wait, right here, left in. And this is the right Joy-Con, so it looks like this is, oh, what do they call it? The little amiibo things. You can put that on this little receiver here. So now we got, it's definitely going to be glued in place. Oh, that was easy. And there it is. All right, so now we can just set aside all of our factory parts, because I will not be using really any of them. Now for our new Joy-Con shell. So starting with this piece, we're going to want to put in our buttons here. Okay, so there it is. I got the trigger back in. Putting this trigger back in was by far the hardest part. So be very careful. That button down there is very delicate, and for some reason that is ridiculously hard to put back in. Unnecessarily hard. Okay, so now we can close these back up. Hopefully for good this time. I don't think I missed anything else. Make sure everything lines up. Like I said before, you shouldn't have to force anything. And close it back up. And now we'll put our 4 screws back in. I'm going to use the screws that were included with this kit because they're not the tri-wing screws, they're just the normal Phillips. So if I have to open this thing back up again for whatever reason to maybe replace a joystick or something, it will be much easier to just use that. There we go. And there it is. There's our new Joy-Con. I think that looks pretty cool. Different color triggers, different buttons, a new outer shell, I should say. And just to save you guys the pain of watching me do that again, I'm going to go ahead and do the other one off camera, and I'll meet you back at the end. Well, there you have it, everyone. That wasn't too bad. And it looks pretty good, too. Pretty easy. A lot of small parts. It's nothing like the Game Boy video that I did. The other Joy-Con was basically the same thing, so I didn't feel the need to show it. A couple more screws, that's about it. Just pay attention to the way you take it apart. That way you know how to put it back together. And these got a lot of really small parts in there, so if you have a pair of these little tweezers like this, it would definitely help out. But there you go. Let me know what you think about the video. Comment, subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you next time.